Jesus wants us to learn, and we're not all pros at everything that we should know about Jesus, but we're gaining that knowledge, we're gaining that experience, we're gaining what Jesus is wanting us to be called to do, and that's what we do by learning in His Word, getting His Word here in the gospel, here in the message, and going through with it. And so these guys are a little worried. They're a little worried while they're in the boat, and that's when they go to Jesus, and Jesus speaks to the storm. He calls out to the storm, and He says, "Peace, be still." They keep going on through, and as they're journeying on through, kind of reading through, if you read through the rest of 4, you hear about Jesus not only speaking to the water, you hear about Him speaking to the water and the wind and everything, and He's just obeying Him. But I believe it brings so much more comfort, it brings so much more calmness to His disciples to see the power of their God. And when God speaks to a situation in your life and it seems like the storm is just raging in your life, and you go to God, and you go to Him, and you speak to Him, and you pray to Him, and you cry out to Him, and you go to Him, and He speaks to that situation, and you know He's working in that situation, it seems like it's so powerful to feel God move in your life, in the situation that you're facing. And I believe that's exactly where these guys are. When we read down a little bit more, we move into 5, when you see that these guys are reaching to the other side. They're getting to the other side, and I believe that when they get to the other side, that they see this demon-possessed man over here. And could you imagine a group of fairly new disciples getting to the particular point where they see this kind of guy? They don't know, they've never experienced this before. They've never been a part of this before. They don't know exactly what they're facing. They don't know what's going on, and they're getting over there, and they're meeting this guy for the first time. This guy is probably like twitching and walking all sideways. I mean, if you've ever seen The Exorcist, his head's probably spinning around in circles. I don't know, but I mean, just thinking about what this guy would be like to them, you know what I'm saying? This guy's crazy, and he's so crazy that they kind of locked him away to the side, pushed him out. He's just kind of an outcast away from everybody else. Nobody else hangs around this guy. It says he hangs around the tombs. Nothing can tame him. No chains, no shackles. This man's a beast. He breaks through everything. The scripture says that nobody can tame him. So this ain't your average Joe. This ain't whoever everybody's hanging out with. This ain't who you want to call to go grab a pizza with in the afternoon. So this guy pulling up, and they're getting here, and they're getting to the other side, and they're facing this guy. I can only imagine the look on their face when they get there, and they see that this guy is there. So at the start, right here in verse 2, it says, "And when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit." Amen. Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one could bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken into pieces. Neither could anyone tame him, and always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying aloud, cutting himself with stones.